Hello. Yeah, welcome to today's live video I'm making. I don't usually make live video, but I thought that okay, today why don't you make a live video on this to test and see um how many people would be on my live stream. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm not quite sure. Let me see. Let me see what I can see here on the live stream. So, welcome to today's live stream. We're going to talk about temporary resident visa (TRV) to Canada. We're going to look at some of the things, or most of the things that you need to know when you are applying for this temporary resident visa (TRV), and then who can apply for this temporary resident visa, and then what are some of the things that you need to know about this temporary resident visa. Okay. So welcome to Life App. Welcome to Life App once again. So on Life App, we try our best to give you the most updated information on traveling abroad. We help you secure your job abroad. We help you with your education if you want to school abroad. We'll help you with all the necessary information that you need. So if this is your first time coming across this YouTube family, I call it family because we want to be together helping each other. So if this is your first time coming across this YouTube family, I encourage you to be part of this family. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and then become part of the family so that anything that we are sharing, all the necessary informations that we are sharing, you can also be part of it. Can also be part of all the necessary information that we are sharing. If you check our page, we have a lot of video on if you want to live abroad, if you want to work abroad, whatever you want to do abroad, we have a lot of videos there that you can watch. And then you can reach out to us anytime through our email, which is normally at the description of, not I wouldn't say all, but most of our videos. The email is at the description, so you could check it and then reach out to us. So we're looking at temporary resident visa, what you need to know if you want to visit Canada. What do you need to know if you want to visit Canada? That is what we are looking at today. And then, as you all know, if you've heard, like Canada welcomes a lot of temporary residents each year, approximately millions of people come to Canada each year. But unless you are a permanent resident of Canada, or you're a citizen of Canada, or you are from countries that are visa exempt, they don't need visa to come to Canada, then any other individual who want to enter Canada will need a temporary resident visa. What is shortened as TRV, abbreviated as TRV, temporary resident visa. You need it. So temporary resident visa, the purpose include, like, for those who want to visit, being a tourist. If you want to um, come and tour Canada, or you want to somebody invites you, a family member you want to visit, like tourist, temporary foreign worker, and in this case you need a work permit. You need a work permit. And an international student, you need a study permit. So either you are getting a work permit, a study permit, or a visitors or tourist, like the same thing, visitors tourist visa. This is temporary resident visa because you are coming to Canada for a short period of time, temporary. So this visa is issued by the Canadian Immigration Visa Officer. They issue this visa, and then they have to go through all your documents, and then they are satisfied that you meet all the required admission to Canada as a visitor. You meet all the required admission to Canada as a visitor. And then one important thing you should know is that the temporary resident visa does not guarantee entry to Canada, nor does it guarantee you temporary resident status in Canada. So you'll be given the visa, but that doesn't mean you can enter Canada. You get to the airport, and then the Canadian Border Services will make sure that you meet all the requirements again and then give you the entry. That is why they give you the temporary resident status. But that is the first point. You need to get this temporary resident visa to even board a plane to come to Canada. And this is for countries that are not visa exempt. These are for countries that are not visa exempt. So an application for temporary resident visa, what you have to do is you have to complete the application and then send it to the Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, and then you do this online. If you want to do it by mail, you could do it, but mostly you do it online, and then you send it to them, and then you pay your application processing fees, and then you do your biometric, and so you pay your biometric fee as well. You pay all this to the IRCC, and then you submit all the necessary document that they will require you, because your temporary resident visa that you are applying for, you are either coming as a worker, as a visitor, or as a student, and then each of them will have their own documents that you need. So some of the common things that you definitely need is your passport, and then proof of financial support, and then in some cases you need to show copies of your travel itinerary, if that is applicable. That is in some cases, and then some other documents that they may require. They may require, depending on the type of temporary resident visa you are applying. So now let's go on and see. So how long does this take? It varies from country to country, and then the visa type that you are applying for. And then you could check this processing time by visiting the IRCC website, and then just Google processing time. It will come, you just put your country there and then the visa type, and then they will tell you the processing time. And then if you want to know your processing time, you want to calculate it, you should know that you don't have to count. If they say maybe 30 days, the 30 days does not include weekends like Saturday and Sunday. So you don't count that as well. And that will give you an idea. And then that is an average time they will give you. And then it keeps changing all the time. And that is the average time. So it could be less than that, or it could be more than that. So that is something that you need to take note of. And then what you should know is that your Your passport that you are using in your application, your passport should be more than 6 months. Like the expiration date should be, you should have more than 6 months for it to expire. That should be your passport. Like, yeah. So make sure that you have more than 6 months on your passport before you do that. And then you could be given a multiple entry or a single entry. Multiple entry will mean that you can come and go and then use that same visa to come again, and then go use it to come again. But if you are given a single entry, it means that you come once, you go. If you want to come again, you need to apply for another visa. But that they usually don't do that, because if the officer is giving you a single entry, the officer have to explain why he's giving you that single entry. The officer have to explain why he's giving you that single entry. So that is something that you need to know. So normally they don't give you any. So how long can you stay on your temporary resident visa? So if you are for student, then you stay for the duration of your program. And if you are visiting, then you stay for maximum of 6 months. That is maximum. But the border officer determine how long he gives you to stay. But the good thing is you can extend your stay if you enter the country. You can extend your stay if you enter the country. So what you need to do is, if you are given 6 months, make sure that when you want to extend your stay in Canada, it should be at least 30 days before your status expires. So at the border, they will be giving you your status, like your temporary resident status. If you're a visitor, they may give you 6 months. And then if they do not stamp it, they did not tell you, they did not give you, it is 6 months. So make sure that 30 days before that date expires, you apply for extension or change of status. And then you can still be in Canada, which is called maintain status. You can still be in the country whilst you wait for your extension or change of status result or response comes to you. And then if you are on this TRV, temporary resident visa, like the visitor's visa specifically, can you study? Yes, you can study if the program is less than 6 months. If the program is less than 6 months, the duration of the program is less than 6 months, you can study without a work permit. But if the program is more than 6 months, then you have to apply into a designated learning institution, DLI, designated learning institution, DLI, where that is the institution you have to apply to, and then you can apply for the study permit. So it's the same thing with, can you work? Yes, you can work, but you will need a work permit. So you go through the same process. So you have to get an employer who will employ you, and then you apply for the work permit based on the employment that you have. And in some instances, they have something they call public policy, which they introduced due to the COVID-19, that will allow them to process your work permit within 2 weeks. Or you can go to the United States border and then cross the border and do what is called frag pool to get a work permit that same day. But you need to get an employer who employ you, give you um, offer offer you a job, give you the offer letter, and then have to prove that the employer have to prove that he's eligible to employ you. That's getting the LMIA or using the LMIA exam. So in this case, where I would advise you to likely most of the time look for jobs that will be LMIA exempt. LMIA exempt. In that case, your processing time and things will be very quick, because if the employer don't have an LMIA already in place, then it takes a long time. Though you can still, so far as you put your application in 30 days before your status expire, you can still be in the country waiting for the work permit to be approved. But if you work during that time, then you are going against the immigration rule, which can at long last affect you in one way or the other. In one way or the other. So when you're applying for your temporary residence, you can bring in your family with you in your application. Or if you are a worker or a student, you can apply for your family to also join you. And then you can change to permanent resident, but you still have to meet all the permanent resident requirements that is needed for anybody who is starting to apply for the permanent resident. So this is a brief overview of what you need to know when you want to visit Canada, the temporary resident visa. The students, workers, they all go under the temporary resident visa, but this, like, if you realize, I was much on the visited. So get to know this. Proof of fund, like what I mentioned, proof of fund, that is the financial support. That is one of the most important things that they look at. And then your ticket, or your travel itinerary, that is something they also look at if it is applicable, but they don't look at that much. So proof of fund, and then make sure that you put in all the documents that they ask you to put in. So thank you. I'm going to end this here. If you have not been part of this family, if what we are doing here interests you, or you think it is much of interest for others, please do well to share this for others to also see it, be part of the family. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so that you don't miss any of our video. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.